Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the graft rejection, that is a tissue graft rejection. Okay, so before going to the graft rejection, we'll know about the transplantation, right? What is tissue transplantation, otherwise organ transplantation. Transplantation is a golden standard treatment for the most of the patient with the end stage diseases. So like organ failure, like kidney failure or liver failure, long term or failure. This is the end stage, like the end option for the tissue, entire the organ transplantation. So due to the transplantation with the different organs, like either in the form of liver, pancreas, or the kidney, or the lungs, it leads to the further immunological activation of the graft rejection because our body it is recognized as a foreign particles for the tissue and it severely will damage the tissue like the donor tissue. So that is referred as a graft rejection. It is a complex process. It is not a simple process. Many factors affect the graft rejection. Okay, genetic disability that is based on the genetics, otherwise the major histocompatibility and mismatch from the donor. All these are the factors that contribute to the graft rejections. They are in the form of hyper, acute, chronic, different type of the graft rejections. We'll discuss next. So this rejection will start either in the form of direct allo reactions, otherwise indirect allo recognition reactions. So you can see this the donor ACP, so direct allo reactions with the donor cells, with the donor MSC proteins, with the donor peptides that activate the T cells. So we'll consider as a direct allo recognition methods of the activation of the pathway. Indirect allo reactions, it is a recipient ACP and the recipient MSC proteins and the peptide from the donor MSC proteins and the T cell recipients, they are activated again further with the T cells. So now it is a different type of the transportations. They are the autograft, isograft, xenograft, and allograft. So autograft, it is a graft in the same person from the other part of the body in the other area, like skin, from the same person. The skin, we are like transportating. Otherwise, a heme transportation. Otherwise, a bone from the same person is not from the another individual. From the same individual, we are going to transfer the part of the cell. Otherwise, a part of the skin, hair. This is referred to the autograft. In case of the isograft between the individual twins, okay, from the siblings, we are like the sister will be the younger sister will be the recipient, elder sister will be the donor, like that, vice versa. Like within the family, especially with respect to the twins. So that kind of the organ transportation we consider as isograft. Next, it is allograft. Allograft it is between the different members of the same species. That means from the same like the Homo sapien family, the thing is from the different family. Okay, so that kind of the transportation is will consider as a allograft. So we can donate donated the organs from the different family in the form of heart, kidney, liver. All these are the allograft. Next is the xenograft. It is between the different species. Like you can see the monkey to the man, otherwise the pig from the man. So nowadays there is several organs we are like donate the receiving from the animals also. Okay, so these are the what we have discussed the allotograph, isograph, allograph, and xenograph. So now the once we are received the organs from the donor either in the form of allo. So both this hato and iso it will not reject much because it is acceptable easily. But in case of allo as well as in the case of the xenograph, it is a severe graft rejection because the mismatch of the HLA type, right? Otherwise, the entirely it is a total different kind of the genome. All this are affect the graft rejections. So in the form of hyperacute, acute, and chronic, we have a different type of the like the graft rejection, host versus graft rejections. The hyperacute graft rejection, it is in the form of immediate mediated like type of the graft rejections. It is also called as a type 2 hypersensitivity mediated. Type 2, it is like because of the mismatch of the blood. So these are the example for the immediate the type of the hypersensitivity. Next is the acute. It will take week to months. Then it is mediated with the help of the delayed type of hypersensitivity. Here there is no antibody until directly the T cells will activate it. T cells it will activate the T helper cells and it will activate the cytokine molecules. Then it will activate it in the form of CD4, CD8 molecules and MSC1, MSC2. It in turn activate the inflammations. Okay, chronic type of the graft rejections are there, the years together, months to years. This is due to the both type 3, the immune complex. Okay, this is the type 3 is also considered as a the autoimmune disorders kind of the type of hypersensitivity, and type 4 as we explained in case of the acute type of the graft rejections. This all varies from the person to person. It is not constant from one person to the other person. I'll take one example here for the hyperacute rejections. See, in case of hyperacute rejections, the allogenic antigen. Alloantigens, they are the group of the antigen, they are circulated in the blood. For that, in our body, the specific alloantigen, specific antibody will be synthesized. They will bound to the antigen, alloantigens, and they will leads to the entirely the complement activation and endothelial blood cells, endothelial damage of the cells, and it will activate the other cells, inflammation, thrombosis, finally it leads to the organ failure, otherwise the graft completely rejections. These are the one example I just explained with the help of the hyperrejection. Like that, the chronic will be there and acute will be there with the help of the activating the either in the form of the complement system, otherwise in the form of hypersensitivity reactions. Okay, so then thank you students. I hope you understood the graft rejection mechanism and different type of the organ transportations. Okay, so in the next class we will going to study the different type of uh, uh, different type of the graft rejection in detail.